So as a lot of you know, CSGO is one of my favorite games, so I thought I would share with you 5 reasons why I like CSGO, and I think you should too. Number 5 is the community, and Counter-Strike is constantly criticized for having a really bad community, but that is actually very far from the truth. Once you get behind a lot of the assets which make up a small minority, but the loud minority of the game, you can meet a lot of cool, interesting people that want to work together and, you know, actually have fun playing the game. A lot of the content of the game is actually made up by the community. A lot of these people go out and they make these skins, they make these maps, and they do a lot of interesting things that you actually see incorporated into the game. It leads to a lot of awesome content being created by the fans for the fans, and that is something I like a lot. Also, if you go to subreddits such as /r/globaloffensive, you get to see a lot of awesome content made by the community for the community. It's honestly awesome to see that people are this passionate about the game that they're going to the lengths of spending hours upon hours to create certain skins or to create maps or to just create awesome videos for the community. As we've seen on YouTube, CSGO has been growing a lot recently, and the community is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and that is something I really like to see. Number 4, microtransactions. And when you see microtransactions, you usually think it's a bad thing, and that's why I put it on this list. In CSGO, microtransactions, pretty much being buying cases and getting skins, don't affect gameplay at all, and that is something that is very uncommon in today's gaming world. In today's gaming market, you'll see companies take out gameplay elements and even just basic things that need to be in the game and put them behind a paywall. Here in CSGO, that is not the case. It is a competitive game first, and it makes a lot of money off skins because we're willing to pay for said skins because it's a quality built game. It goes to show that if you build a quality game, people will pay for microtransactions. And in this case, they don't even affect gameplay at all, which is something I have to commend Valve on. Since the game is so good, people are willing to spend all these money on microtransactions, and it just shows that Valve has the right business model in mind, being that if you sell things that don't pretty much affect gameplay and you create a good game, people are going to be willing to spend the extra money. People are willing to spend hundreds of dollars on these items, and Valve gets a cut of that, and they're making a ton of money off microtransactions. And normally people have a problem with that, but in the case of CSGO, no one has a problem with it because the game is still good, and like I said, it doesn't take out core gameplay elements. Number 3 is the skill gap, and a lot of 1.6 players will tell you that CSGO doesn't have a skill gap and everyone's equal, blah 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 blah, or they won't say that, but they'll say something to the extent of 1.6 was a lot harder, and I'm sure that that is true, as CSGO is a lot more accessible than the previous Counter-Strike games, but there is still a huge skill gap there compared to most modern day shooters. CSGO is one of those games that is hard to learn and hard to master, i.e. being all the smokes you have to learn and all the positioning and just getting your aim good enough to pretty much be able to compete with other people at your same skill level. This is pretty noticeable when you put someone who's played the game for 1,000 hours and someone who's played the game for 500 hours. You will notice a huge difference there in skill, and for most games 500 hours would be a lot of time, but honestly these people who are putting in 500 hours are considered mid-tier players. I honestly love the skill gap in this game because it always gives you something to work for. No matter how good you think you are, there is gonna be someone better than you, and trust me, they will let you know if they are better than you, because every game you come into, it's hard to dominate. Like, you can't just dominate in CSGO most of the time unless you're just amazingly good. Usually there is good competition and everything's close for the most part. Number 2, eSports, and this is something that I didn't really get into when I first started playing CSGO, but I started watching it recently. I am super excited for ESL Cologne, but I didn't expect to be, honestly. Like, I've been following it very loosely, and then as of recently I started following it a bit more, and I'm actually intrigued to see who's gonna win, and I actually have a favorite, that being Cloud9. I actually want to see them succeed and win, and I never actually expected that to happen. CSGO is built from the ground up to be a game built for competitive play, and that's why it's becoming such a popular esport. Last year, one of the majors hit 1 million viewers live, and the next major coming up is expected to hit 2 million viewers live, and that is absolutely insane to see how much the game has grown. But when you have a game built for competitive competitive, it translates well to these kind of things, and you actually can learn a lot while watching these pros play. It actually helps you get better, and it's actually very entertaining to watch. You just get to see the best of the best compete, and it's actually very entertaining, believe it or not. If you're watching this and you play CSGO, or even if you don't play CSGO and you were never really into esports, I definitely recommend checking out the next major that will be happening next Saturday. It's definitely going to be an awesome event. It's going to be really cool to watch, and it's a good way to just throw yourself right in and get to watch some of the best play. Trust me, even if you don't play the game, you'll probably find it somewhat entertaining with all the shoutcasting going on and just a lot of the play-by-play breakdowns that you're going to see that will hopefully help you get better at the game. Number 1, replayability, and this is the biggest thing for me when it comes to Counter-Strike. You can put thousands of hours into Counter-Strike and continue to play Counter-Strike without being bored. And it technically is the same game every time, but you're playing against different opponents with different strats, with different ideas, and you have to figure out a way to pretty much outsmart the other team, and that is something that I like a lot. Almost every time you play Counter-Strike, it's always seemingly something different. You're gonna have someone either doing different strats, someone out aiming you. You're pretty much just gonna have to overcome whatever is going on in that game to succeed, and that is something I like personally a lot. It makes you think, it always keeps you on your toes, and like I said earlier, it always makes you want to get better and better and better. I've gotten multiple friends to get this game, and they didn't really think they were going to get into it at first, and then as they started playing more and more, they kept striving to get better and better, and now they're sitting at around 500 hours, and that is absolutely insane to think. My friends who came from Call of Duty, who put maybe a day or two in Call of Duty thinking that's a lot of time, coming over to Counter-Strike and logging in hundreds upon hundreds of hours. That just goes to show you there's a lot of replayability in this game, and the players have a drive to just get better and better as they keep playing and playing. This is by far the best part of the game for me because I feel like you get a lot out of your $15 spent on the game. And yes, if you didn't know, the game is only $15 and will sometimes even drop to $7 when on sale, which is absolutely crazy for all the time you're going to get out of it. Trust me, this game is definitely worth buying. It is definitely worth getting, and if you don't have it already, I definitely recommend checking it out. It takes a toaster to run, has a lot of replayability, has some awesome esports, has a great skill gap, has microtransactions that don't suck, and has a pretty awesome community. But you already knew all those things because you watched this video all the way to the end, I'm hoping. And if you did like this video, how about you hit that like button? And if you disliked this video for some odd reason, how about you hit that dislike button? And if you're new, how about you subscribe? But yeah, guys, this has been The Chosen One Ink. If this video does get 200 likes, we'll be uploading next one. But yeah, guys, this has been The Chosen One Ink. And as always, peace out.